My name is Andrew Montoya. I'm born and raised from Santa Fe, New Mexico, and am a second-generation Santero. I've had the pleasure of doing religious icons in Spanish colonial form for, I would say, nearly half my life. I started at the age of 14, and I've been creating images from a religious standpoint and participating in Spanish market every single year for the past 15 plus years. Well, I had an unfortunate event happen to me. I lost my mom at the age of 11 and had an auntie who painted and participated in the Spanish market. And she was, like I tell people, was almost like a forced marriage. She made it a point to take my brother and myself to her house every year to go and paint during the summers. And so we were guided and taught the process of retablos, and so I wanted to start carving, and she didn't know how to carve, so I kind of was self-taught. But she did expose me to certainly, the traditional process of paints and pigments and different things. So that's kind of how I got started in it, and I never imagined that I would be continuing in it, but I've been doing it for quite a long time, and now I'm doing my best to teach younger people the process of the traditional art, so that way it can get continued and the traditions can continue. Raising awareness to me has many different points. The art form that I do is very unique, and raising awareness to me means bringing up different trials and tribulations or difficulties that we are going through as a community, as a nation, as a world, and I want to be able to use traditional icons or traditional forms and put my spin on it and make it to where it might be more conscious towards the socioeconomic problems that we have, or difficulties that people might be facing. I think when people have those difficulties, one of the first things that they turn to is religion. So raising awareness to me is utilizing my form of artwork and what people are usually guided to or go to in times of difficulty, and putting the form that I do into something that they can relate to at that time. And I think in doing so, I think that it also helps the people not only deal with the difficulty or the problems that may be going on, but it certainly allows them to have something that they can relate to get through what they need to get through. So the piece that I chose to submit was a Lady of Sorrows piece, which is probably one of the more traditional things that you would see, which is the Madonna or the Virgin Mary, who has 7 swords that are piercing her heart in regards to the sorrows that she's lived in her time. The reason I chose to pick that piece was because I kind of look at Mary as the ideal mother. Mary would be the person that, the ideal woman, kind of the very focused and powerful person that she is. And instead of putting the sorrows that she had piercing her heart in regards to Jesus, her son, and the difficulty that he had to go through, I decided to label some of those daggers with problems that are facing us as a society, as a community. One of them that I can think of in particular was poverty. Another one that I could think of in particularly was immigration. So those are all things that we're facing as a community, that we're going through in difficult times. And I think that when people would look at that image, they not only see the traditional aspect of it and the fact that she maybe is going through this difficult time with what had happened to her son, but they can relate by looking at those daggers closely and reading whatever it may be, poverty, immigration, and they can then relate to that. So that makes it extremely more powerful when you take a very powerful piece, but not only utilizing that aspect of it, but also pulling in the the difficulties and the awareness part of it, where people can actually relate, and it makes the piece that much more powerful.